welcome back to another episode of Blue Couch Therapy. It's your boy, Betty at the Man. So today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the fact that it took all the strength I had in this world not to fall apart. As I've been embarking on this journey of self-discovery, of change, of growth, and development, a lot of things have happened in my life. A lot of changes have been made. A lot of things that I wasn't expecting happened in my life, you know? And sometimes to an outside observer, things don't make sense at all. For example, even for me, before I embarked on this journey, I had a very loving girlfriend. Truly one of the few people so far outside of my family that I believe truly loved me. And I let her go because I had to find myself, you know? And I think that it can be confusing when people hear the story or when people ask about what happened, and then I'm just kind of like, well, I needed to find myself. I felt as though I wasn't living in my truth. I felt as though I didn't want to, I felt like I was living my life for others and really just kind of doing what they say, you know? Saying that, okay, you have to go down this route, you have to go down this route, you have to do it this way. The only thing you can do, you know, the only thing that you're allowed to do in this world is get a house, get married, have children, and that's it, you know? And I have nothing against any of those things. I have nothing against marriage, I have nothing against children, I have nothing against anything. I just didn't feel as though that the marriage route was my ministry. So I thought to search and find my own truth, because I've always had a difficult time conforming. I've always had a difficult time conforming, and it's always been challenging for me to express my truth. As a former people pleaser, I really used to just go along with the flow. Yes. And one thing that I noticed, even as I go through therapy, and I just think that it's always saying yes, always being available, always being, because I wanted people to like me, because I was always thought that okay, well, if I don't do this, then this will happen, and then that will happen. So to go even in greater depth, No More Mr. Nice Guy references that. There'll be a link to that book down below if you're interested. In my library, I gotta even put my Amazon library together for you guys so that you can see the kinds of things that I've been reading to help me better understand and unpack this life I'm living. And it was essentially just you become a people pleaser, nice guy, because you're trying to get validation. You're looking to receive validation, external validation, for whatever the reason may be. And you feel as though that you try to act. One thing about me is I was always trying to not act needy, because it was the idea that okay, if you're needy, then that means you're gonna get left, you know? If you're needy, that means that someone's gonna abandon you. And this whole kind of fight or flight mentality starts to kick in, and then you start to do things for other people that you might not have wanted to do. Now you're doing a bunch of other stuff, and you just really wanted to sit down for the weekend. So all these things I just started to become aware of in my life, and in my life, yeah. And essentially, when I say it took all the strength I had not to fall apart, I think, what's that song? Is that Patti LaBelle that sings that song? I think that's Patti LaBelle. I'm not sure. I don't even know the name of the song. I would sing it, but I don't want to blow your earbuds out. And essentially, it took all the strength I had not to fall apart. It's easy to get lost, I think, in this crazy system. I think it's easy to get lost in this crazy world. This world is directionless. If you ask me, I really think this world is directionless, because what do they do? What do they do besides create plastic, destroy the environment, and go to war? There's not much else they do, you know? There's not much else they do. There's not much else they and so I feel as though that in the society, you have to find yourself. You have to find your truth and your happiness. What makes you unique? What makes you feel fulfilled? For me, it's walking in the woods, being involved with nature, being aligned with nature the best way that I can. That's why you guys see a lot of my videos. If I'm not in the car, I'm outside. If I'm not outside, I'm in the car. And if I'm not either of those places, I'm at a studio somewhere. I like to be outside. I like to be on the road, adventurous, and enjoy everything that this world has to offer. I can be in your city in the time it takes me to get there. So if you want to meet me, what's up? We can go there. I'm on the road right now. I'm ready to drive to Texas. So I say all that to say it took all the strength I had not to fall apart, because I can see there's a notion that people talk about where you kind of become enlightened, and then some people get the message and they go crazy. Some people get the message and they fall to drugs. Some people get the message and they fall to alcohol, because it's like this world is fake. Everything around us is a facade, is a farce, so to speak. Just like The Wizard of Oz, the movie The Wizard of Oz. You think it's this big grandiose thing, and you come to look behind the curtain and it's a guy that's 1 foot tall who's controlling the mechanism. And then so you start to peek behind the veil and you realize that these people and these politicians and they have no real power. They have no real they have no real power. They have no real control over anything. All they do is just scare you in fear, make you feel fearful about the world around you and about the things that could happen. So I choose not to fall for that. I choose to fall into, I don't know what term you may refer to it, but I choose to fall into belief, into faith, walk by faith, not by sight. And faith is evidence of things hoped for in the, what is it? Evidence is a substance. Faith is a substance of things hoped for in the evidence of things not seen. So staying in tune with your desires, with your life is important. And like some people, I always say is that, like, don't be a crash out, Okay, we understand that the system is rigged or it's fake or it's, my whole thing is always like, even I toil back and I'm just like, well, it doesn't matter, so I might as well just go and live in the woods. I'll get a tent and I'll just chill out there. It's all I want to do anyways, I just be outside there and get a nice log cabin, something like that, and just enjoy. I do love the mansions, I do love the Lambos and the Raris, and I'm gonna own all these things, you'll see. They don't make me. Those are the kinds of things that don't make me. And I think it's funny that I'm like, I don't care about those things. That's how I know I'm gonna get them. The detachment, that sense of detachment from that. Because no matter what, like, it's even if I'm at the Ritz Hotel or if I'm at the Motel 6, I put my sleeping mask on and you can't tell the difference. Once that mask goes on at the end of the night, you can't tell the difference between where the hell you at. So it's not a matter for me to be like caught up on the aesthetic and like where people think I should be or what I should be, It's just like, okay, are you comfortable? Are you safe? Are you able to do the things that you want to do in this world? And to me, the answer is yes. I have enough. I always have enough. Excuse me as I just changed lanes here. I always have enough. I always have more than enough. I always have more than enough. Speak highly of yourself. Speak these things into existence so that you don't become, what's the word I'm looking for? So you don't become overwhelmed by circumstances. When I say that it took all the strength, it's easy to fall by the wayside. It's easy to say, fuck it, and just like become, and become like a bum or become like not a productive member of society, because you like think and see that it's for naught. It's all for naught. No matter what happens at the end of the day, we all gonna die. We all gonna go and sit up in the infirmary. So it's just like, who cares, But I think that's the energy that can cause you to fall. That can cause you to become like I said before, like a non-productive member of society, where you just like do drugs all day and So when I say that it took all of my strength, I really had to lock in. I really had to hone in and get closer to God and get closer to myself, my truth, my identity, and my beliefs. For the most part, I really had to unlearn everything and relearn. In my experience, there's more to unlearn than there is to learn, because there's so much that's been programmed into us, that's been conditioned into us to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to believe a certain way, to believe in certain things, that it can become hard to distinguish the truth from perception. Excuse me. Because if you think about like all this stuff that and all the stuff that you believe to be immutable fact, where did you learn that? Can you trace? And this is what I started to do essentially. I started to go down that route, and I would think that, like, okay, well, who taught you that? Why do you believe that? Okay, so then you got down that part of the thread. Cool. Then who taught them that? What does that mean? What do these words mean that they're using? What do these symbols mean that they're using in order to trick us, in order to present information in an easy way for us to digest? And then I started to look up things like the subconscious mind. I've been so involved in these kinds of thought processes since I was a child. I always knew about the subconscious mind and the fact that, like, you can hypnotize yourself into creating the life that you wish. So it's just a matter of staying focused and staying on the path and staying, on your path. It to me, like, life is tricky. I think it's challenging to navigate in this world, but I think it's generally easy if you understand kind of how things are set up. And that's why I like to read a lot. That's why I'm so inquisitive. That's why I'm so like, well, let's see what does this language mean? I'm learning all these different languages so that I can read text that they never translated into English. You might learn something. They might hide something from you in a book that only was in print from 1916 to 1935. And then now they don't print it no more unless you ask for it directly, and then it tells you about something that you need in order to get over a hump in your life. Don't fall for the tricks. Don't fall for the traps. Don't fall for the golden handcuff and then cuff yourself trying to impress the Joneses, trying to impress me, trying to impress your parents, trying to impress your family. Impress yourself. Have you ever had a moment to stop and think, like, what do you really want? That was what was like the tipping point for me, is that, like, I felt as though that I've been wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask for my whole life, and I finally took it off and saw the real me. And I thought to myself, okay, well, it's time for me to focus on the real me for once. It's time for me to focus on myself. It's time for me to focus on the things that I think are true in this world, and not abide by the systems of people that don't have my best interest at heart, people that colonized the country, people that colonized the world, and destroyed cultures, destroyed everything. Hey, don't get me started, yo. We can talk. That was not the point of this video. It was essentially just to tell you guys that it takes strength. It takes strength to live free. It takes strength to live the simple life. It takes strength to live a righteous life, to live a life according to the word. So, and I don't even say that to say that I'm like a Bible thumper that's like, I be drinking, I be cursing, I be having sex. I'm not, let's not be fooled here, people. I'm not trying to preach to you guys and come at you like some holier than thou guy that knows everything. No, man, I'm just on my path. I'm hustling my way up to the life that I wish to live, and I want to bring as many people with me as possible. I want to impart this wisdom with as many people as possible, just to let us know that you don't have to be scared, and just know that it's gonna cost you your old life in order to build a new life in every aspect of the word. It's gonna cost you. And that's the sacrifice they talk about when, on all these stupid conspiracy theory videos. They talk about, oh, the sacrifice is this and the sacrifice that. You have to sacrifice people that are around you that don't believe in your vision, that they say they support you but they don't really believe in you. They laugh in your face when you try to tell them about your ideas. Have you ever had an idea and then you tried to share it with somebody that you thought was day one, so they call them, and then they laugh in your face, or they start to instill doubt, they start to plant the seeds of anxiety and uncertainty and stuff? How can that be a friend? How can that be, like, with friends like that, who need enemies? Because at least an enemy will tell you, so if you're still your enemy, then at least they tell you that it's dumb, then you're like, I don't want to hear what you have to say, you're my enemy, I don't care what you have to say, But it's your friends, it's your family, it's your circle around you that want to play devil's advocate all the time whenever you share a dream or share a vision of success that you have for your life. Because a lot of times we're limited by the spirit of our area. We're limited by the spirit of which we live, the part of the country, the time of the year that it is. So yeah, I think it's important that we understand, at least for me, it was important to understand that it takes strength. It takes strength to be your true self, and it takes strength to lift yourself up from down, you know, to lift yourself up. And I don't even mean like on some capitalist shit, like you need to lift yourself up by your bootstraps, and no. I just mean like to lift yourself up into faith, to raise the chakras, you know, to start at the heel in hell and raise yourself up to heaven. It's all in the mind. And you have to be in charge of your mind, or else somebody will be in charge. If you don't take control of your mind, somebody will control your mind for you gladly. It's either going to be the politicians, or it's going to be the news, or it's going to be your family, or it's going to be the billboards, or it's going to be the music. Somebody's ready for another slave to convince, to control their mind, to make them do something that benefits somebody other than you. You notice how you're spending all your time doing all these things, and then you're not even the one reaping the greatest benefit? So I feel as though that's not right, especially for children of God, people that say they believe, people who believe in the word. You know, I don't think that's right. I think that's a farce. I think that's a scam. And I think that's not the way that it's intended to be. Because if you read the word, if you read it and then you actually read it literally, then you're not living. How can you say that you're being blessed? You know, you're living in a world where they take it from you every day. You don't have enough. You're in the grocery store complaining about food, the prices of food, and not yada yada. But aren't you children of the Most High? Doesn't the scripture tell you that ye are gods and the scriptures cannot be broken? So I think it's scary to chase your truth, and it's easy to fall back by the wayside, especially when you start to be perceived as unconventional, and the people in your life that you look up to, the people in your life that you respect or that you're expecting something from, you might want to conform in order to get validation. That's why I say you can't seek external validation at all. At all, you can't seek external validation. Because if you do, you're going to find yourself having a hard time. You're going to be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, trying to please others. Which I think is so funny, because we're sitting here trying to please other people all day, buy a car that they're going to like, and you know, I want to live in this apartment because girls are going to like it, or because this man going to like it, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But then at the same time, you believe when you die, you can't take nothing with you. So why are you spending your whole life and all your time here trying to like appease people and collect things? So to me, I'm like, in terms of the collection of stuff, that's for the business. You know, after this car, I pay off this car, I'm never getting a car in my name ever again. I'm never getting none of these assets in my name ever again. It's for the business. That's why I built a business. That's why I started my incorporation. So that way I can become a corporate citizen, a global corporate citizen, and travel the world. Okay? Because you can sit there and think about like, oh, well, I want to go to America land. I'm in Canada right now, right? And you say, I want to go to America. And then you're going to say, well, okay, I need to get a visa, and I need to find a job, and I need to do it. No. Well, yes, that's one route. But as I always say, there's a million ways to make money. Did you know that you could have, if your business invests more than $1 million into America, which is a capitalist society, which is a business at the end of the day, you can do your own research at that, incorporated, I think, out of Delaware, I think it's out of Washington, D.C., somewhere. And it's an incorporation. It's an incorporation. So you can invest in America, you can invest in that business $1 million, and you can write your own visas. That's how these people do it. That's how certain individuals can come. You ever look when they see people that are like, oh, well, how these people come to the country, migrate to the country, they didn't even speak the language, and you just read what the rules say. Everything is out there. They have to tell you what they're doing. In these movies, it's not just science fiction. They have to tell you what's going on in this realm. Everything around us is what you may refer to as, this is me here, yes. What you may refer to as, sorry, 1 second, just pull it up. What you may refer to as, see, I lost my train of thought, huh? That's funny. But you can invest in America. You can invest $1 million into the American economy, and then you can write your own visas. That's what I was saying. That's how these people can come into this nation, can come anywhere in the world. Not on some racist shit. This is about money. This is about the economy. This is about the economy. This is about getting to financial freedom so that you can help your family and help yourself. You know, even the Bible tells you if you can't help your fellow believers, you're worse than a reprobate. So come on now, living in poverty is not the end all be all. It's not the purpose of this time that we spend in the world. So you can level up in ways that you would never even imagine. And then you're gonna even say, okay, well, how do you get $1 million? How can I get the $1 million in order to do that, Cody? You say get 1 million like it's so easy. If that was so easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Everybody can do it if they wanted to. You literally could get, and I don't mean to say that this is gonna happen in one day, 1 year, but we already been hustling. I'm 32, right? I've been hustling since I was fucking maybe 8 years old. I got my first paper route when I was around in elementary school, grade 6, 7, 8, around there, primary, not primary school, elementary. But, so since that, I didn't have these ideas when I was a child, but I'm just saying that the point I'm trying to make clear here is that these things don't happen overnight, but you and your family, it could be 10 of y'all, and just think you got 10 of y'all, 10 years. Everybody go out there and hustle and bring back 10K every year, and in 10 years you have 10,000, and all 10 of you that make $1 million. And then now you go and you would invest in a business. You incorporate your guys' selves. You get a trust as a family, and then you go and you invest in a different nation so that you can get visas and you guys can go and be dual citizens, corporate citizens. Just food for thought. Just a food for thought. So when I say, it cost me everything, it truly cost me everything, all my strength, not to fall apart. But then in this effort not to fall apart, I learned so much. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about the world. I learned so much about the tricks and the scams and the traps that they set for us to fall for. And I'm just here to try to warn you guys, so that way you can cut your time in half. So you don't have to be like me and waste your time getting out of debt first, so that you can build up. Just take what I'm saying and do your own research and understand how you can come up in the game faster than you can expect and live the life you want to. So yeah, guys, I just say all that to say that it cost a lot. It costs a lot to be your best self, and you have to put in that, you have to be willing to make that sacrifice. You have to be willing to make that sacrifice of your family, of your friends, of yourself, of your former life, where you can't eat the bullshit foods that you used to eat anymore, and it's all processed anyways. But that's a story for another day. I'll probably even eat a burger later today, so I'm not trying to be all preachy, but I'm just saying, the food is fake. Everything is when you start to understand color theory and the way that they position these things. All fast food restaurants are red logos for a reason. Okay, so yeah, guys, took all the strength I had not to fall apart, but I'm here now with my head held up higher than ever before. I'm so excited for what the future is going to bring. I'm so excited to travel, to see the world, to share this information, to share this knowledge with you guys. Anyways, love you guys. I just pulled up to the spot. So until next time, my first book, How to Get It, A Brief Guide to Getting in Tune with Your Inner Self, is available now. All my links will be down below in the description below. Love you guys lots. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.